San Diego Global Knowledge University.
In this second part, we'll keep looking at how the customer's view and the entrepreneur's view connect. We'll also see how both these things link to needing to manage relationships and sort customers in a smart way to keep the business going strong. Let's get started. Customer tasks often depend on the specific situation they're in, which can create certain rules or limits. For example, calling someone on the phone is different when you're comfy on a train compared to when you're driving a car. Likewise, going to the movies with your kids is a very different situation than going with your partner. Also, it's important to know that not all tasks are equally important to your customer. Some are more important in their life, because not solving them could lead to serious problems. Others are not a big deal, because the customer cares more about other things. Sometimes you'll think a task is super important because it happens a lot, or because it will lead to something good, or something you don't want to happen. Customer frustrations. Frustrations are all the things that bother your customers before, during, and after they try to solve a problem, or simply what stops them from solving it. They also relate to risks, which are the bad things that could happen if a task is done wrong or not done at all. We need to try and figure out 3 types of customer frustrations and how bad they can be. Features, problems, and unwanted results. Frustrations can be about how things work. A product or service might not work badly, or have bad side effects. Social things. I'll look bad if I do this. Or minor annoyances. It's a pain to have to go to the store to buy this. They can also lead to unwanted feelings. It's boring to run at the gym, or this design is ugly. Obstacles. These are the things that stop customers from starting a task or slow them down. I don't have enough time to do this right, or I can't afford any of the current solutions. Risks. Potential unwanted outcomes. What could go wrong and have serious bad results? I might lose trust if I use this kind of solution, or a security hole would be terrible for us. Customer gains. Gains describe the outcomes and benefits your customers want. Some are necessary, expected, desired, and others would be a surprise to them. Necessary gains. These are gains without which a product or service wouldn't work. For example, the most basic expectation we have of a smartphone, for instance, is that we can make calls with it. Expected gains. These are relatively basic gains we expect from a solution, even if it could work without them. Ever since Apple launched the iPhone, we expect phones to be well-designed and good-looking. Desired gains. These go beyond what we expect from a solution, but we'd love to have them if we could. These are usually gains that customers would mention if you asked them. For example, we want smartphones to be perfectly integrated with other devices we own. Unexpected gains. These go beyond customers' expectations and desires. Most likely, they wouldn't even mention them if you asked. Before Apple popularized touchscreens and the App Store, no one had thought of them as an integral part of a phone. A gain can be essential or simply nice to have for the customer, just as frustrations can be extreme or moderate. Frustrations versus gains. When you start profiling your customer, you might put the same ideas in both frustrations and gains as opposite things. For example, if one of the tasks a customer needs to solve is making more money, you might start by adding salary increase to gains and salary reduction to frustrations. There's a better way to do this. Figure out exactly how much more money the customer expects to earn for it to be a gain, and find out what kind of reduction would cause frustration. For frustrations, add the things that stop or make it hard to complete a task. In our example, the frustration could be, my company doesn't give raises. For frustrations, also add the risks that come with not getting the job done. In our example, the frustration could be, maybe I won't be able to pay for my kids' college tuition. Ask yourself why several times until you truly understand the tasks your customer needs to get done. The entrepreneur's self-image in the business world. An entrepreneur's self-image, which is how they see themselves and their ability to run their business, is super important for their success. Tagliacelli points out that a good self-image for an entrepreneur is linked to how clear and organized their business plan is. An entrepreneur who feels strong about their abilities tends to handle tough situations better and make smarter choices. This connection between self-image and a business plan is key to understanding why some business projects do well. Also, Ricilo Trujillo says that what makes a business succeed includes how much the entrepreneur believes in their ability to reach their goals. Having a business plan doesn't just show a clear path to success. It also makes the entrepreneur feel more confident in their ability to run their company, and that's really important for their self-image. The business plan as a tool for strengthening self-image. A business plan serves a dual purpose. It organizes actions and boosts the entrepreneur's self-image. According to Rodriguez and Lancheros, a well-designed business plan increases the feeling of control and mastery over the business's future, which directly impacts the entrepreneur's self-image. This control is especially important in uncertain business environments, where confidence in one's own abilities can make all the difference between success and failure. Rivera and Casas support this idea by arguing that having a detailed plan reduces uncertainty for entrepreneurs and strengthens their professional image, as it gives them a clear vision of the path ahead. An entrepreneur who feels confident in their abilities is more likely to make good decisions and stay focused on long-term goals. So, how does a business plan affect how well a business does? Well, how entrepreneurs see themselves is really connected to how well they perform. According to Bonilla, Vicente, and Pazos, entrepreneurs who think their business plan is a useful tool for running their company tend to get better financial results and build stronger relationships with important people. This is because a good business plan helps them look like capable leaders, which affects how well they do and how others see them. Around the world, studies by people like Verheul, Ulaner, and Thurek suggest that entrepreneurs who make detailed business plans feel more confident and believe in themselves more. This good feeling about themselves helps them better handle relationships with investors and other key players in the business world, making it easier to get resources and opportunities. The risks of not having a business plan. Not having a business plan, or not using it well, can really hurt how an entrepreneur sees themselves. Sierra Mendez points out that business owners who don't plan well often feel more unsure, which makes them feel less confident and less able to lead projects successfully. This feeling of not being good enough can lead to bad choices and make it harder to bounce back from business problems. Zamalo Loaiza agrees, saying that entrepreneurs without a proper business plan find it harder to see themselves as successful leaders. This hurts their ability to get investors and build good teams. This lack of self-confidence can put the business's growth and stability at risk. Strategies to strengthen self-image through the business plan. The business plan not only organizes the entrepreneur's actions, but can also be a tool to strengthen their self-image. Anguissaca and Mayorga suggest that entrepreneurs who use their business plan to anticipate future scenarios and design risk mitigation strategies develop a greater sense of control over their business. This sense of control is key to keeping a good self-image. It helps entrepreneurs feel ready for anything that might happen. Almanza and Del Alcazar agree that entrepreneurs with a clear and well-made business plan work with more confidence and do a better job. This makes them feel better about themselves as good leaders. This confidence helps them face business challenges more securely. Sustainable businesses and the entrepreneur's self-image. Nowadays, aligning business plans with the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, has also been shown to have a good effect on how entrepreneurs see themselves. According to Pacheco, Alvarez, and Mateo, entrepreneurs who include sustainability in their business plans not only show they care about social responsibility, but they also feel better about themselves as leaders who are dedicated to helping society and the environment. Campos Sanchez and Marum Espinosa add to this idea by saying that entrepreneurs who create sustainable business plans often feel better about themselves and see their role as agents of change in a more positive light. This approach not only makes them feel stronger about themselves, but it also helps them stand out in a market that cares more and more about sustainability. Customer relationship and segmentation. Many times we've wondered about the true value of a customer and to what extent a certain consumer is expendable from our client list. This question probably becomes even more pressing when we're dealing with a difficult client, and that famous saying, "The customer is always right," echoes in our heads. Experience has taught us that the customer is not always right. And now more than ever, it's important to remember that not all users have the same value, and therefore, not all deserve the same level of effort and dedication. And if we're talking about a few important ones, it's necessary to use the concept of segmentation to know which ones the company should focus its energy on. What's happened so far in marketing development really means this. It's getting harder and harder to attract new customers. So if I can't get more, I'll focus on keeping the ones I have so I don't lose them. On top of this, we have a super competitive market where the competition isn't just local or national, but mostly international. As if that wasn't enough, our situation is unique and, sadly, different. On one hand, our country's industries have to fight to be more efficient and productive. On the other hand, customers want more unique goods and services. These are two ideas that seem to clash when they meet in the market. So, what's left for us? Try to personalize products and services for many people by giving special treatment to each unique customer. The answer sounds simple, but actually doing it is a big challenge. The idea of keeping customers loyal seems to be the main goal. Companies try to keep customers at all costs, thinking it's cheaper to make current customers happy than to find new ones. But there are some things we need to look at very carefully so we don't waste time and effort on things that won't help the company in the long run. Relationship marketing tries to grow connections with customers to have lasting fruits in the long term. This is because the actions we do and put into place today will bring good results for both the company and the customer once they are done. It's because of this idea that everyone starts shouting that all companies should follow this path. But at this point, it's important to ask ourselves, do all businesses fit this way of thinking? Is every customer worth keeping? To answer these questions, we need to look at customer relationship management. This involves a full analysis of how good it is to use relationship marketing strategies for different companies and customers, along with the practical considerations. To figure out if every type of organization can use relationship marketing strategies, we can start by broadly categorizing our company based on its industry. The production of goods and services is divided into three main sectors: primary, secondary, and tertiary. From all these types of businesses, we'll need to sift through them to find out if our company is one that can and should use customer retention strategies. This is even more important when we consider the famous Pareto's Law, also known as the 80-20 rule. The roots of this law are in economics. It was first studied by the Italian economist Vilfredo Pareto, 1848-1923. He found that a small part of the population owned most of the wealth, while a large part of the population was poor. He concluded that this kind of unevenness is pretty much unavoidable in any society. A second part of this study was done by Dr. Joseph Juran, who came up with the 80-20 rule. This rule says that 80% of problems are solved by 20% of the causes. And because of that, the other 80% of causes only solve 20% of the problems. It's amazing, but this pattern also applies to businesses. We can see many examples where it holds true. 20% of digital marketing tools bring in 80% of website visits. 20% of search engines can bring in 80% of visits. 20% of key ideas can bring in 80% of visits. A small number of customers account for most of the sales. A small number of products bring in most of the profits. This evidence was constantly supported and even went far beyond its origins. In 1990, consultant Frederick Reichheld and Harvard professor W. Earl Passer Jr., Harvard Business Review, reported that by reducing customer churn by 5%, companies can increase their profits from 25% to 85%. From then on, the customer retention wave grew rapidly. If we look back at our experiences with customers, we might remember that the customers we pay the most attention to are those who, in one way or another, make themselves known. Maybe they're the ones who are unhappy, or who demand a lot of attention and help, or who speak loudly. These are often the same people who also bring a lot of unpaid bills, problems, and wrong demands. So, why even deal with them? The smartest choice here might be to remove them, in the best sense of the word. According to Juan Carlos Alcaide from ISMI Consultants, the types of users who fit this description are high-risk clients. Let's not forget that experience shapes intelligence. Because of this, you can spot someone who might cause problems, like a customer who starts asking for explanations about things that are really obvious. Customers who cost a lot to serve. These are the ones who create more expenses than profits, and keeping them around actually leads to losses in the long run. Customers who pay late or don't pay their bills. Customers with a bad image who hurt your reputation and who, in the long run, scare away other customers instead of bringing them in. Customers who cause arguments or problems, because of whom unhappiness can spread to the rest of your customer base. Bargain hunting customers. These are the ones who are only with us for a special deal and plan to leave once it's over. These are customers who have chosen the wrong service, those who, for one reason or another, signed up for or bought the wrong product. According to the AMA, American Marketing Association, market segmentation is the process of dividing a market into distinct groups of customers who act in the same way or have similar needs. Based on this definition, each group that is found will become a market target to be served with a different marketing plan. One important thing that people often forget is that these groups must be measurable, easy to reach, different enough to need a big change in the plan, significant, and long-lasting. So, based on all that, we can say that if we do a good job with segmentation and find our top 20% most profitable customers, then our marketing efforts will be well spent. And because of that, the profit we get from each customer will be just what we hoped for. Philip Kotler, when he appeared in Barcelona last October at the World Marketing and Sales Forum, talked about how current markets have changed. He described a new business world, different from what we knew before. This means we need to look at things differently, using new ideas and tools to make our actions and plans more effective. The old ways just don't work anymore. They're constantly proving to be ineffective. So, he came up with the 10 principles of new marketing that today's businesses should follow. 1. Recognize that the consumer now holds the power. 1. Develop your offerings by aiming directly at only the specific audience for that product or service. 1. Design marketing strategies from the customer's point of view. 1. Focus on how the product is delivered, not just the product itself. 1. Work with the customer to create more value together. The company's role has changed. 1. Use new ways to reach customers with our messages. 1. Develop metrics and analyze your return on investment, ROI. 1. Develop high-tech marketing. 1. Focus on creating long-term assets. 1. Look at marketing as a whole to regain influence within your own company. Conclusion. The business plan canvas helps turn business ideas into a clear and practical plan. It brings together important parts like what makes your product special, who your customers are, who you'll work with, how you'll make money, and your costs. It also looks at money matters and how to keep your business going. This model becomes a helpful guide for both starting and growing projects. Plus, it helps entrepreneurs feel more confident by giving them a clear picture and control over their project. This leads to good choices and helps them stand out from others. So, the canvas is not just a planning tool, but a way to connect an entrepreneur's dream with what's really happening in the market.
San Diego Global Knowledge University, Education Beyond Boundaries.